We're back in the garage. Okay, so another winter, more time to work on this thing. So plans for today, since we know we're going to be taking this engine out, we've decided we're going to rebuild it. So what we're going to do is try and get the axles out, get the downpipe out, and depending on how much time we have left after that, any other things to take out here. We're going to be getting an engine hoist soon and engine mount so we can get working on taking this apart. This has just been sitting here since August or so because we had no compression in cylinder 2, so I've been outweighing our options and decided I think we're going to go ahead and rebuild this engine. So today, taking out axles, taking out downpipe. Let's get to it. So to get started with taking the axle out, first thing we got done, took out the center cap here to reveal the axle nut. And now we just need to bend this part back out a little bit, a little safety notch, and then we can try and break this free. They're usually a giant pain in the ass because it's on there super tight for obvious reasons. But let's give this a shot. Okay, here we go. 32mm breaker bar. Watch me struggle. Yeah. That's why you have to put it in gear. Yeah, it's just moving. One sec. Oh man. Oh. Yeah, Skaga. I really just say that? Oh yeah. We replaced these axles a year ago. We've driven maybe 1,000 kilometers this car since I pretty much rebuilt it. Oh, I'm so happy that came off that easy. Last time I had to cut away at it, use eat fucking 20-foot long breaker bars. This one came off, probably because I used anti-seize. Always use anti-seize when you put new shit on there. Now we're going to do the other side. We're going to jack this up and we'll start pulling the axle out. So the car is jacked up. We got jack stands on each side, safety first. And now the wheel is off, what we're gonna do here is we're gonna take off this upper control arm bolt, and then we're gonna take off this nut. And then once that's out of the way, we're probably gonna have to take this fork off here, which is just a bolt here and there. And since we have coilovers, it's not as much of a worry. Normally with stock suspension, if you take this bolt out, it's going to drop because there's pressure, but the coilover it's set to this height. So we can just take those bolts out, get this fork out, and then pull this out of the way, pull the axle out, pop it out of the transmission, move to the other side. Okay, so we got the axle out. This is off, popped out. I'll show you how I got it out from the inside, because that is the most pain in the ass. Something like this, skinny, can slide in. You need to get between the two and then hammer it in, and that will pop it out, and it immediately pulls off. I'm sitting there every time like an idiot trying to just immediately pull, pry on it. No, you need something to hammer in, and then it just pops out. Now we got our axle out. See, just pops right out. Boom. Now you can go do some curls at the gym, get your workout in, and then move to the other side. Ooh, that's fresh. Might give it a little paint here. This is only a year old. Transmission fluid. Okay, let's stop fucking around. All right, successfully got the axle out on the driver's side. Now this one is a female axle, so to get that out, I used this, but I used the long end of it, and you're gonna wedge it between the back of the block and the axle, where the mid shaft is, against the side kind of closest to you, and then just get in there with your foot, give it a good push, and it'll slip it forward enough so that you can pull it out. And all right, we're gonna put these back together, and then the next step is gonna be taking off our downpipe. We're gonna get those bolts out, and then we're gonna remove the turbo from the front. And as well, I just remembered the linkages, the shift linkage down here needs to come out as well. We're gonna try and get all those things done today, and that'll be a major step done in getting this engine out. All right, we got the O2 sensor disconnected, downpipe bolts off. We're gonna take off the oil feed, and we're gonna drain the oil out. All right, so I just drained out the oil and emptied the bucket. Just want to show you if you can see it, but there is no metal shards in here at all. You can see my reflection. I definitely, like I said, I maybe drove that car 1,000 kilometers. So the oil, it's very black because obviously a lot of blow by, but the engine wasn't trying to destroy itself. So that gives me good hopes, high hopes for having to just switch out the bearings and it be good, and that the engine isn't like, you know, totally fucked. So we can definitely reuse this block, and you know, I could probably just change the rings, but we're gonna just do everything while we're there. Bearings, rings. All right, so oil's out. Now let's drop the turbo and downpipe. Yeah. All right, onto the downpipe now. So I've got 3 of these main bolts off. We're taking the turbo with the downpipe off at the same time. Just gonna drop it off the flange. 3 bolts are out. Now I just need to loosen this last one by hand and drop it down smoothly, hopefully. Shouldn't be too heavy, but yeah. Fucking hell. All right, let me get in a good position. Cradle this or something, just to be sure. Right. I think I got it. Bolt. There we go. The downpipe was holding on to the cat back pretty solid, so that helped. Alright. That's not bad at all. Sliding it through, down to the floor. Lay it there nice and gentle. Cool. Anyway, alright, that came off. It didn't hit the intercooler or nothing. Let me go ahead and pull it out. Boy! There she is, guys, our snail. Our downpipe. Oh boy. Because I made this downpipe completely custom with obviously some booger welds. Good old MIG with no gas, but hey, it works. It's just that with the excess buildup, I don't know if you can see, makes it kind of hard. Oh, here we go. The excess buildup makes it kind of hard to get those bolts in there. That's why I'd rather do it this way than separating the two. Awesome, now that we got our downpipe off with the turbo, so much room for activities. Yeah. All right, go look under the car. Bam, room for activities. Okay, so I don't have any light, so I'm an asshole. All right, so the next step now is gonna be taking off that shift linkage and maybe the wastegate. And we're pretty much running out of time for today, so that might be it, just those last couple things. And then this weekend we're picking up a engine hoist and mount, and we're gonna go, well, once we have that, I'll start doing the rest. Next week we're gonna unplug all the harness. I'm gonna label everything, stuff like that, and then we can actually take this engine out next week. Engine out next week. Down here now, we're gonna take out our shift linkage. One bolt there drops that, and then you've got the actual linkage here, which has a pin in it right there. You pop that pin out, and then these just pop off, come down, and that should be all I want to do for today. Made a lot of progress. Axles are out, turbo, downpipe, wastegate, all of that is now off. And once we pick up our engine hoist, all we got to do is drain the coolant, take off the rest of the intercooler, rest of the intercooler piping, and then from there we can get the engine out. And that's just half of the work, because then we're going to be rebuilding it, new bearings, new rings, new pistons. We're going to make sure the head is good to go, and then slap it all together. We're going to put a thicker head gasket so we can lower the compression, so it runs a little bit safer with the boost. That's pretty much it. Throw it back together. We'll replace a couple little things, gaskets and whatnot while we're there, and probably a new clutch. Actually, we're going to take the transmission off when it's out, see how the clutch is. Might as well do it, we're there. And then maybe in a month from now this will be running. Oh boy, oh boy. Come down to the end of the day now. It's a bit dark. Okay, we got the wheels on, lower it down. That'll be it for today. Clear. Quick behind you. Nice and slow. Oh. Try to go slow. That's pretty fucking low. Got the axles out, got the downpipe and turbo off, wastegate, shift linkage started on that, oil's drained. So a lot done today. We're gonna get that hoist on the weekend and start taking this engine out next week.
When you ask me to bring that guacamole to the party, I'll say no, no. If you ask me bring the guacamole to the party, I'll say no, no, no. That shit's too expensive.